Hey, what's up guys? I'm Bill Dixon, and today we're talking about my MT-10 Drift Bike, and this is 2019. Basically, I'm converting it over to a drift bike, and today I'm going to be installing the Graves exhaust, and I also have a box from HTMOTO that I'm really excited about. I hope that the seats are in there. They've made me a complete custom seat, so pretty excited about that. Other things you'll see in this video is a little bit of this. When you're talking exhaust systems, in my mind, Graves is the best. I've been to their factory, and you should see how these things are made. Like, they are so particular on every aspect, and it's not just an exhaust, it's actually tuned. When people say it's tuned, like, they tune it on horsepower, on torque, and on sound. First thing we're going to do is, obviously, we're going to unbox the Graves exhaust and check it out. A heel guard, possibly. Here's a mid pipe. Get all the peanuts out of there. Titanium. I mean, check the welds out that Graves does. Their work is amazing. I mean, it's flawless. You can see Graves really protects these things when they ship them out. I mean, nothing's gonna happen to this thing. Oh man, carbon fiber at its finest. Check that out. This thing doesn't weigh much at all. We're gonna go over here to the scale. All right, one thing you're gonna notice about this Graves exhaust is it has a removable insert, and this just cuts the decibels down a few. And for what I'm doing, I'm not going there. I'm taking this out, so I'm not gonna run that. And I'm trying to make as much noise as I can. You'll notice that they have a rubber plug right here, and I've already removed it. You can do it with your fingers. I wouldn't recommend using like a screwdriver or anything. Just kind of peel this thing back. And then right through that hole is gonna be your 1 4mm bolt that's gonna remove the baffle. And as you get it screwed all the way out, and there it comes. So now that you've got that out of there, let's grab a hold of the inside of there and pull this little guy right out. And now we've got one free-flowing exhaust. So once you figure out that you have all your parts and you've established what you need to do, which is basically take, you know, this much of the exhaust. So over here on the bike, you'll figure that out. But if you're still not clear, in here, inside of your exhaust, you'll find out your installation instructions and where you can go online to basically get your installation guide. So right there is the installation guide. Now that I removed that, I know exactly how much weight I'm going to be adding to the bike with this Graves exhaust, and I'm going to go ahead and put it over here on the scale, and we're going to see exactly how much this Graves slip-on system weighs. Here's the scale, and here goes the mid pipe. Let's see how much that weighs. 2 pounds. Wow, all that, nuts, everything. Yeah. Get the muffler here. We've got the Graves muffler, the Graves mid pipe, and the heel guard, and that is a total of 8 pounds. A couple things you'll want to take into consideration when you're doing this exhaust is there is a servo motor right here. This is not the motor, this is the flapper inside of the exhaust. Helps with torque and bottom end. The cables run right up through there by the brake, up the swing arm, and there's a motor in the back of this tail. And I'm going to leave the motor in there. I'm just going to unhook the cables and trick it into thinking it's still doing its job when it's not going to be, because I'm deleting this portion of the exhaust system. And we're going to start by taking all the clamps loose. Alright, now you want to save some of your hardware because you're going to use some of this hardware over when you're reinstalling your new exhaust system, but a lot of it's going to go away. And you can get, you can start taking some of these mounts off from the other side, because this catalytic converter that you're taking off is a big unit, so it's going to save a lot of weight and it's going to look a lot better. I'm going to take the rear set off to help in aid to take the cables loose here from the exhaust, just to help me out a little bit, and I'm probably going to have to let the bike down and get underneath the seat as well. Get that out of my way. I can get in here and disconnect these cables. This way when I go to pull the exhaust off, it just falls right off. Alright, stock seat off easy enough. Another thing is I'm going to take this time to go ahead and show you HTMOTO seat. I'm pretty sure that I have one in this box. Alright, I'm going to use my trusty parallel. Here's my HTMOTO box. Got it open here. I'm going to go ahead and see what we got. So most likely I got my MT-10 seat too. They really wrap these things up, keep them safe. Oh man, check that out. Dang. Got the red stitch on there and the gray. Alright, I was going to go ahead and take the servo motor out, but I got to put the seat on just to see how good this thing looks. Oh man, it fits like a glove. You can always depend on HTMOTO to match it up, man. Look at that. I mean, it just looks like that bike came from the factory with that seat on it. I love that. Awesome. All right, I'm going to get back at it. I'm going to go ahead and take the seat back off, get the servo motor disconnected. All right, it wasn't hard to locate this servo motor, as it's right there, right under the seat. There you have it. Just a rubber band holding it in. So we're going to peel that up. Right there's our cables. Just going to get a Phillips screwdriver here and disassemble this. Where you'll need a 10mm wrench to loosen one of the cables up. And up here, that's the top side. And you don't have to, but I recommend removing the cables out of there. Obviously you're going to have to leave the servo motor, or you can take it away, but it's just going to give you a check engine light, and it may cause other issues. So I just recommend just leaving it right in there, unless you've bought the Graves also sells thing that plugs in right here and tricks the whole system into just into thinking it's working. I'm going to disconnect the cable from the cam here that works the valve inside your stock exhaust. So once you've got that loose, you're just going to grab the cable and pull it up out of there, and this will allow you to go ahead and start working on the next one, and you can start disconnecting it from up top. Take the slack out, pull the cable out, and these just kind of slide in there, and then there you go. First cable's out. Then you're just gonna turn this one time, hold the slack out of your cable, and work your cable out. All right, now that I've went ahead and removed all the cables, I'm gonna go ahead and put my rear set back in place, because I won't need to have that off for anything else for the Graves system. Actually, the Graves system main mount mounts to that, so. Alright, good to go. Now that's installed, and we're going to go ahead and get back at just removing the rest of the mounts on the exhaust and getting it slipped off from the factory head pipe. Right over on this side, you'll see there's a mount here, and you have to get that one off as well. Now as you twist these, it's going to want to turn back, and then you're going to expose right there the plug. Now once you've removed all the bolts and got your O2 sensors out, now you can go ahead and remove your stock exhaust system. go. Alright, now the stock exhaust. Wow, is this thing heavy. Alright, it's time to go check it out and see how much it weighs. Alright, so we got the exhaust, stock muffler. We have everything except the servo motor. And this is a whopping 23 pounds. That's a savings of about 15 pounds, and that's a lot when it comes to a motorcycle, especially way down low. I think this is one great way to save some weight. We're going to go ahead and start with the mid pipe here and get it installed on the stock header. Now you might ask, well, why didn't you just go ahead and buy the whole header? Well, the honest truth is unless you're really trying to save a whole lot of weight, that's the only reason why you need that front header. I mean, Yamaha's got that thing. I mean, it's a good header. So, in my opinion, yeah, if you're trying to save that extra weight, if you have an R1 and you're trying to go fast and you're trying to race it, but if you're, just looking for the power and everything, you're going to get just as much power from this system as you would the full system. In your mid pipe, you're going to notice that you also have a little port here. Now, your factory O2 sensors will not fit in there, but this is for if you're running like a Power Commander or Brazaz or something like that you want to get an auto tune situation going on. But I choose to go with the Graves tune with the flash tune ECU. That's the best setup for me. That way I know what I got. Graves is they've been racing motorcycles for God knows how long and winning. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get this thing installed. You'll notice when you're putting this on that you'll see the clamps are facing inwards. You want to leave them on that way. This way you get that good looking appeal and you don't see your bolts on your exhaust anymore. It just looks seamless. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and tighten the bolt. And go ahead and be sure that we got it tight enough with a 3/8 ratchet. Yep. Alright, so before you can put your exhaust pipe on, the money part, you have to install this little guy right here. Makes it look real sporty when the exhaust is tipped up a little higher. And that's what this does. It's a little shorter here, so it just gives it a little better angle. You want to save all your hardware. Alright, do a little comparison on the two. As you can see, those holes line up perfectly. But it's just a little shorter, so it's going to bring that bracket more like that. Alright, that's that. We got that little bracket on. Now we're going to go ahead and slip the exhaust in. Bam, just like that. Man, that looks killer. Can't wait to hear what it sounds like. This little bag is what mounts your muffler. The spring and the nut. Use your stock bolt. Get all your bolts started before you tighten up any of the bolts on the new bracket there to change the exhaust mount. Putting the spring on the exhaust. If you don't have a spring puller, which I do have one, but I was just going to show you, you can also get a really good grip with either vice grips or needle nose pliers that have good teeth on them to get your spring on there. But do not run it without this spring. It's time to get excited. You get to hear what this thing sounds like. But wait, first thing you need to do is go ahead and take a good cleaner and wipe off all the pipes. That way they do not fingerprint, because you have oil releases from your hands that get on those pipes, and once they burn in, then you'll see your fingerprints, and it's really hard to get that off once that happens. So best thing to do is, before you ever start it up, go ahead and give it a wipe down. Get a cleaner on here that evaporates. It's going to get all the way around the pipe. Alright, here we go. I got the seat, I'm going to install it, and then we're going to fire this thing up. Ht Moto, what? It's time now. We're about to hear what this baby sounds like. ponies. Waking up all the neighbors, all the dogs. This thing sounds great though. Alright, on to the next. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks Graves Motorsports, thanks HTMOTO for hooking it up. The drift bike's one step closer.